Thanks for tuning in to the episode of The Aydin Show, sponsored by our friends at Casa Homes. Enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Aydin Show. The word Aydin means enlighten. That's exactly our goal. We're here to enlighten you, share knowledge and wisdom, and inspire our youth. Assalamu alaikum everyone. I'm Ahmed Uruch, and today's guest is Joe Falcone. How are you, Joe?
Good, mate. Lovely to be on the show.
That's great, mate. Look, Joe, you deal with domestic builders insurance. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Like what got you into dealing with insurance?
So I finished high school.
Yep.
Obtained employment at the HIA, and I'm here today 22 and a half years later.
Okay, great.
So I've been dealing with the product for 22 and a bit years.
Yeah.
And we are probably one of the leading brokers in Melbourne. We specialise in contract works and builder's warranty. As well as we're licensed brokers to offer a full suite of other insurances as well.
Yeah. So a lot of new builders that come into the industry, they need to obviously obtain their license by going through VBA. Once they do, they come and see you.
That's correct. So once they obtain their license or they obtain consent to get their license, they've basically passed their test, etc. Then they come to us. We'll start the application process. But you want to know basically what's part of the application and what it involves and how they get more insurance and how the people don't get enough insurance and what are the pitfalls, etc. Is that mainly?
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much it. So the application, let's say someone did get their license or got that permission to get their license and wanted to obtain insurance. What's the process like? What do they have to face to get that?
Okay, so basically we like to do new builders face to face. First and foremost, they've never used the product before. Okay. So all they hear from their friends is how hard this product is, how bad it is, how much money you need to start the business. And if you don't get it right, they're going to limit you and you can't run a successful business. That's rubbish. So it just means that the person who's engaging you to do the application has to spend a lot more time. Okay. So we usually do it face to face. Now the application it's a basic paper application. It's not an online application. It's 12, 13 pages long. Yep. And basically the application involves a couple of things. Putting your basic details down. It also asks for your experience. It asks what work you have lined up. Mm-hmm. And it also asks for, and I suppose the most important part of the application is providing your assets and liabilities.
Okay. And with that, it then depends on how much you own to how much you receive from this insurance. Like what would a new builder receive at the start? Would it be around the million figure or?
Well, basically, you've been through it yourself. So it can be a frustrating process. Yeah. And a lot of people ring me and say, Joe, what do I need to get more insurance? And I ask them, sorry, who are you? What's your name? That's the first question they ask. Joe, what do I need to get more insurance? It's not that simple. There are a couple of things that the government look for when they're assessing a builder. Yeah. Now, what they always say is we need to get comfort that this guy can build what he wants to. Okay, so I always use the word comfort. When sometimes I get stuck with a file, I say, well, what kind of comfort do we need to give these guys to say that this guy can support that turnover? So they're going to look at your assets. Okay. Do you have a family home? If you're married, or your status in terms of that. How long have you been living at that address? Do you have any investment properties? What are your loans against those properties? Do you have car loans? Do you have cash in the bank? Does the company have any cash? Do you have cash personally? Do you have any shares? Anything that can support the business. So generally with new builders, it's a bit hard because new builders will be between 22 and 28. So they're virtually in their infancy of construction, infancy of building. A lot of them are chippies, for example. They come out of being a chippy. They've enjoyed the good life. They're driving a new wild track, doing the party life, going overseas. But now they've got to sit down. They've got to save some money because obviously they've got to go through the next stage of their life, which is setting up a construction business. Yeah. So bottom line is with new builders, if you have been a carpenter and if you have an asset in your name and you have a bit of savings, let's say $50,000, $60,000, then you would expect to get $2.5 million worth of insurable turnover for the year. Okay. How that's used is up to you. So whether you want to use it for new homes, renovations, extensions, swimming pools, or multi-dwellings, that's part of the application process. Okay. So if you're going to specialize in multi-units, well, then you're probably going to get less turnover because obviously they're more complex. So the VMI has concerns. Ahmed, you've been a builder for 6 months and you want to do 5 multi-unit projects. You've never handled one project yet. How do we know you can build 5 and build them comfortably and profitably? So they probably want to give you a couple of new dwellings and a couple of multi-units and see how you go.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So then, as you said, they'll give about up to 2.5 million if you've got about 60,000 in the bank. Is there anything else that they look at?
Yeah, like I said, it's a mixture of certain things. So it's not just about the financial part of it. Financial part of it's huge. Okay, obviously, COVID. We've gone through a couple of tough years in the game. In 22 years that I've been doing this, I don't think I've seen as many builders get into financial trouble as I have now.
Okay.
And we find a lot of it's to do with underquoting, buying jobs. People get a little bit desperate. They don't got no work lined up, so they're cutting their prices, etc.
Yeah.
All right. So that's exactly what we're finding. So I think dealing with insurers every day, I know exactly what they want, and they just want some comfort to say, okay, well, we'll give you 2.5 million, or we'll give you 2 million or 3 million, whatever it might be. Now, on the odd occasion, you might have a new builder come in his 30s. Late 30s, early 40s, they might have had a successful business in relation to other industries. They come into the game, they might have 5, 6 properties, 7 properties. They might have $500,000 in cash. That changes the equation. We can then push up the insurance limits. Okay, but what the insurer wants to see is a gradual progression and not these steep curves. Yeah. Okay, so when people think about, I get pushed every day, Joe, I really need more. So out of that 50 calls I get a day, 30 of them are, I need more insurance. That's, if I get a new boat, I'm going to call it need more insurance. So basically what I always say to them is, when was your last review? Okay, it was in February, or it's been 6 months. Okay. So the information that the insurer wants to see is financial based. So they want to see your financials. Okay, so they want to see your last 2 years' financials if you've been trading. Are they profitable? They want to see what you're doing with your money. So a lot of builders will suck the money out of their business and enjoy the good life. And then a couple of builders will keep money in the business as retained earnings and grow the business. That's what they want to see. Okay. They want to see that you're investing in the business. Okay, obviously you've got to pay yourself a wage. Yeah. So that's what they want to see.
Makes sense.
And if you continually to show that, then basically you'll get whatever you need. And they're not here to restrict you; they're here to monitor you. So,
and that monitoring process, what is that? Is that so? Let's say the new builder's, he got his license, he got that 2.5 million. He's now used it all up. What's the process of that monitoring? You've explained to us exactly what they look for, but how quickly can you increase that?
Okay, so basically, so let's say, for instance, you registered some homes. You were 3/4 of the way through the homes and you want to start your next round of jobs. Yep. I generally suggest that you finish the first round of jobs, okay? Produce some occupancy permits, show the insurer in good faith that you're building homes, you don't have any issues, the owners are happy, there's no defects, the VBA hasn't got involved, OH&S is up to date, etc. Yep. And then we can go back and approach the insurer and say, well, we've finished $2.5 million worth of work. This is the profit we've made. How about giving us 3.5 or 4.5 mil? Okay. Okay. But generally speaking, we don't like to do it any more than twice a year. Yeah. Okay. Because it adds substantial cost to yourselves with accountants, etc.
Okay. Yep. All right. For some of the young guys, supervisors that have decided, okay, they want to be builders, have been in the industry long enough, can you explain why DBI insurance is needed? What's the importance behind it? What it does?
Okay. So it's a funny question because sometimes I sit with builders and we sit down for an hour and we have a chat and I'm one of those blokes that can talk underwater, but I say to them, do you know what the product is? And they say, yeah, it's insurance. I say, well, do you know how it works? They say, no. I say, what? Do you know what? They say it's insurance. I said, actually, it's not an insurance. It's a consumer-based product. Okay? So what that means is that the government says, are you going to build anything over $16,000 in this state? You need to provide the owner a certificate of insurance that gives you insurance for 6 years after occupancy permit. Okay. So basically that's what it is. So it's not actually an insurance product of the builder. It's a guarantee that they're providing both the Victorian government and the owner.
Yeah. So it's more to protect the owner.
Correct. It's consumer protection. Yeah. And that's why there are different parts of the legislation that respond. So if you build 3 units or more, you're deemed a developer, and there's different parts of the legislation that respond to that. But if you're a mum and dad building your own home, completely different legislation applies to that. So you get more protection as a mum and dad.
Okay.
So the government want to look after the hardworking taxpayer.
Yeah.
You know, they're not interested in developers, so to speak.
Yeah. So, look, you've been in the industry a long time. What was your company name?
Splash Insurance Broking.
Okay, and where's that located?
So we're located in Nidri. We've just purchased a new office in 80 to 82 Nidri, Kilo Road, Nidri.
Yeah.
We're just fitting out that office. We've actually moved out of the Docklands, which we've been there for about 10 years now. The reason why is because most of our clients are in the suburbs.
Yeah.
Northern suburbs, born and bred. So most of my clients, over 1,000 of them, would be in the northern suburbs, Craigieburn, Epping, etc.
Yeah.
And they really want to catch up more regularly now. You know, we've gone back to the old days of servicing people face to face and on the phone, and not just flicking out emails. So we're going to set up an office where there's plenty on-street parking. People can come and drop contracts off, fill in applications. We've got a big staff now. We've got accountants in-house, etc., etc. So we have staffed ourselves up for people to come into the office.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so you've had a very long time of experience in this field. What could you say to some of the new guys that are going to get into building? Like, let's say they've got their license, they've got the insurance now all sorted. What's the do's and don'ts? What have you seen?
Okay, we just went through this in your office, didn't we?
Yeah.
Listen, I mean, I've seen it all. So we look after clients who are carpenters, to new builders, to clients who build 3,000 homes a year. Okay, and everything in between. I see builders now in their 50s, and we sit down and have coffees and go over what has been over the years, and they all turn around and say, listen, I shouldn't have grown that big. I didn't actually make any more money. I made myself plenty of headaches, but I didn't actually make any money. So finding that sweet spot. Now that's different for everybody. So I have clients who build 10 homes a year, and they're very profitable at that, and that's their sweet spot. 10 homes a year, they work 7 months of the year. They spend a couple of months overseas in the winter months, and they're happy with that. And then there's other clients who, where do they want to be? They want to be the next Simmons or the next Metricon. So, but finding a happy medium and you've got to find out what your strong points are. Are you a good technical builder? So you're going to be on site, or are you good at running QuickBooks? Are you good at managing staff? Or are you hopeless at managing staff? Because that's going to matter how many staff you can have. Yeah. Or are you going to employ someone to manage those staff? So, I see builders who've really accomplished a lot in such a short period of time, but they are exhausted. It's an exhausting industry. It's very rewarding, but it's very, exhausting. So, but like I said, I don't think there's an industry where you can make as much money in such a short period of time as in the construction game.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you.
Yeah.
With all this COVID that's happening, has it impacted your business at all? Have you seen any builders being impacted?
Well, no. I think, I was talking to my wife the other night, and we've just moved out of our house, and we've just moved into a small townhouse, and we've got 3 kids and a dog, and we're sitting down and we're saying, how hard is this? And I thought to myself, and we got talking, and I said to her, how lucky are we though? I'm primarily in the construction game, which is completely unaffected by COVID, so to speak.
Yep, I've noticed that. We're still getting a lot of phone calls. I think the home builder scheme, that $25,000 the government's thrown out, is also helping people to decide, okay, let's build, and it's getting things rolling.
Listen, what I'm finding is the people who are the quality people in the industry, because unfortunately there are a lot of people that are not quality in the industry. There's a lot of cowboys. The quality people in the industry are still really busy, Tradesmen, extremely busy. And then other people are not busy at all. We're still busy, but I think there will be a slowdown towards the end of the year. Speaking to architects, building surveyors, they're seeing a bit of a slowdown. But then again, we're at the start of the process and we're just as busy as we've ever been.
That's great.
Okay. So we're probably doing 4 or 5 increase applications a day.
Wow.
You know, so, and there's still land being cut up.
Yeah.
And people still want to live in Melbourne.
Exactly.
You know, so I think we'll always have that edge over the rest of Australia, even Sydney. Sydney's been really busy. Well, we've slowly overtaken them in the last 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. Well, Joe, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing all the knowledge and wisdom that you have with some of the viewers that are watching today.
No worries, mate. And like I said, if anyone needs a hand, we're always willing to give them a hand. Even if they're not our clients, mate, we're a family business. We run completely different to everyone else. So we're really approachable. So give us a call.
Definitely. And the number?
0416 261 118.
I'll put you on the spot. Okay.
No, I nearly forgot my own number there. No, thanks, mate. I really appreciate it.
Not a problem, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe on YouTube and also like our page on Facebook. Till next time. See you.
Cheers. Thank you.